Hello, and welcome to another episode of Nerding Out, Geeking Out. I'm Luke.
I'm Gresham.
And I'm James.
Hello. Hi everyone.
Hello.
So we're in a different location.
If you haven't noticed.
Yeah, this is new room that we're going to be using. Mid conversion at the moment, hence the
Quality table.
Quality.
It is not on some toolbox, as we swear.
It's definitely not on.
Sponsored by DeWalt.
Please sponsor us, DeWalt.
We do have a lot of your toolboxes. But this is basically my garage that we're converting into a studio for the podcast and for the Crazy Maker Nerd build videos. Are going to be bigger. So today's episode is going to be based around the very topic of this space.
Yes.
This table, probably mostly, I think.
Yeah, on kind of what we want in the space,
Yes.
how we want it to function, potentially, here and there.
How it looks like, anything custom that we can make for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as you might have already noticed, we have a camera up there. So this episode, if you're listening to audio only, genuinely you might want to skip it. If you can't watch the video, because we're going to be doing a lot of practical stuff on the table. We've got a top-down cam if you are listening, so that we can essentially use sketch pads and drawing. And throughout, I will be, hopefully, if I'm good enough, editing it really well, so you can see what everyone's doing.
And we'll try and keep as much talking as possible.
Yeah.
As this is a podcast.
I'll try my best to describe what these two are primarily drawing.
And he's drawing a gigantic phallus.
Aye.
So, since we are drawing, I've got some paper.
Oh!
Lies.
That's a wodge.
And
Oh, here we go.
Oh god.
Colouring pens, is it? Hey!
Jeez.
That's a lot of pens.
That is a lot.
so I've got supplies.
Do you draw a lot of penises? Everywhere.
Very different coloured ones.
yes.
Multicoloured ones.
Yes.
It's for the LGBT community.
Of course.
It's for inclusivity.
Of course.
You do the full rainbow.
This
So
comes
shall-
from my university times.
Nice.
So shall we all grab a piece of
Yep.
paper?
I'll move these out of the way.
We shall try and... I'll try and do a half, facilitation way of doing this, shall we? So we can try and stay on track.
Pens.
Thank you. Standard pen. Can I have a pencil? Have you got a pencil?
No, because we're meant to draw in pen.
Oh, no.
Here's your pen. Thank you.
Have you got a thicker pen?
No.
A thicker black pen?
I might do. What's this one? That's
We can use that.
slightly thicker. There you are.
So, because what I want to do is, at the start, we'll hand this around and we'll write our names in the top corner.
There you go.
Thank you. So that when I come to edit later on, I can at least see who's.
Yeah.
A lot easier. That's not a bad shot.
It's not bad for a quick.
Not bad for a clamp on a joist of a building.
Still makes me nervous.
Makes you nervous. That's my friggin' camera. Okay, so first of all, shall we go around the table?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a pun, and discuss the table. So number one, I think we should be thinking about the shape.
Yes.
So
And also for those listening, or watching, please put your ideas in the comments.
please put your ideas in the comments. Let me know. In fairness, I might have already built it by then because this is a few weeks behind.
Yes, but it's also good
But we
to
could
see what
bump
can we do
it.
for future.
We could bump
To be
it.
fair, we could bump it.
This might
Yeah.
be bumped. There might be episodes we've recorded in the past coming out next. So we've got a shape. So we're going to have I don't know. So we've got circular. That's the obvious one. Square.
Yeah.
Perfectly square.
Rectangular.
Rectangular.
It is right now.
Like now. What was the other one? The other one was
half a you could either do semicircle,
you could do that,
yeah, or like half a hexagon.
half a hexagon, or you could do a full hexagon.
I'm going to fold down
True.
the section.
Well, my idea, what I was thinking was if you had a full hexagon, you could technically then clamp on to the other parts of the hexagon for your lighting in your camera.
Also
But
true.
if we're having lighting set up in here.
True. It's. I think it's more if you have more people, so that there'll be more lights needed. I don't know, maybe.
But we're going to have guests.
Well, we've had one.
We
No,
had
two.
one?
Possibly two. Depends on when this comes
Yeah.
out. We might have had one or two at this point.
I think we won if we bump this, depending
Yeah.
on how much we bump this. I suppose. How many guests do we foresee having at the same time in this space?
that is true.
I think we said maximum 2.
Probably 2 more.
Yeah, we might have 2 more. You
'Cause
probably want 2 more, and then you wanna have the camera on the front.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be you have guest 1, guest 2, us.
Yeah.
For those who are listening, art is being produced
Art is
by
being
Luke.
produced. I'm drawing a hexagon with 5 sides being occupied by the top-down view of a person and a camera on the front.
Your other option is we go for a octagon, so half of an octagon.
We could do, yes.
Um,
Well, it depends. I guess the question is, are we gonna
Or do we go round so there's not actually like a side to attach to?
well,
maybe?
this is why the octagon kind of comes in, because it's not too far off from being perfectly circular, but it gives you enough of a flat surface that you could maybe clamp on maybe drinks holders, things like that.
Try to remember how to draw an octagon after
yeah.
so many years. Half an octagon is
Yeah.
like that. And then the full one, I think that one's double length, isn't it? So don't you lose a half length on the sides?
So you'd,
Or would you do it so that it actually is split here?
I think you'd do it so that it's split there, so that you could have, when it's just the 3 of us, we could probably kind of take up this space but sit more to the left of it. So it'll be yourself and James, and then me there. And then when we have guests, we can move a little bit more central and have guest 1, guest 2
I think
is a possible option.
Or you do not a perfect one of these and you do it so it's really long. So a bit. It kind of would look a bit like a game show host, where you've got like space for one in the middle, and then there's two people
on the side.
on the
Yeah.
side.
Let's do. I think something like that would be quite cool. We could also, if we have a wide enough lens, we could have like a bit of a logo at the front. Or something.
That's true.
Because I know you wanted that on the.
I do have a plan for the logo.
Yes, I know.
So we've got a nice big blank wall behind us right now, which is because of the way the optics always work on the camera. You're always going to end up with dead space above our heads. So I figured a big neon sign with the words "nerding out" in green, and then "geeking out" in like a fake stone effect with like 2 lamps overhanging it, illuminating the geeking out. There was also, we were talking about if we wanted to do other things in the podcast with the table. So if we wanted to do a session of D&D, or
This
if we
came from
wanted
the
to do,
D&D episode
Yeah.
with John.
or if we want to do a wargaming bit. So in which case you could maybe make it so that it's technically a rectangular table, but then with this side on it.
Make it foldable? Or...
You could make it foldable so that it has a hinge on where the half.
So then whenever
hexagon
we
joins.
want to play, kind of do a D&D video, we could just drop that half.
Or you keep it up and you keep your camera recording the guys here, and then when you have a camera like we have right now above, and then that is focused on this bit, so that you can go from showing the people to then showing the game, and they're quite separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also means if we did want to, we could mount things in there and have them at a slight angle so you could see, like we have before.
Of course, what you might have noticed is we are, of course, tight on space in here. So I think number 1 is shape. Number 2, size. So at the moment, I've probably got enough space.
Here's what I prepared earlier.
Oh, tape measure. I've got enough space at the moment with this microphone here at, I'm going to say 70. So one person occupies a width of 70.
How wide is the actual space? The carriage space?
That's a good question, Gresham. Why don't I just extend that over here and hopefully not let it fall.
This high quality.
High quality podcasting here. What are you doing?
Wait, are we going all the way to this wall?
Yeah, you're going all the way to that wall. Hold on. How long is that?
Please hold, ladies and
That is
gentlemen.
2.5 meters.
2.5 meters. So we've got a space which has 2.5 meters that way. And I'm going to say,
From here
because
to...
seeing that we can currently see the edge of the breeze block, we're probably going to have to end up with that length. And to the garage door, which is, guess what? 2. No, keep going to the other end of the breeze block.
Oh, keep...
You can see all the way over there.
Oh, right, okay. That's
There
impressive.
we are, right on the edge.
So that is 2.8.
I'm currently being gross.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So that's 2.8 meters.
So is it 2.5?
It's
2.5 that
wide,
way.
2.8 long.
2.8 long, and that's where the breeze block is. I'll put the breeze block in.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm gonna do
10
this-
centimeters
some
equals a
stuff
meter.
over here.
That works.
And I'll start from 1 centimeter in.
I do have an ergonomic book as well that I should have brought in.
Yeah, I
Seat
did. I was going to
sizes.
print.
So we just measure from back of the seat to the knees. So that's 80.
2.8, did you say? In,
2.8 for length, yeah.
So
28.
someone, very good stick man. You can tell I'm a design engineer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna say that is. I'm gonna probably measure it with my feet flat. Do you want to measure? This is some proper engineering,
And
guys.
2.5?
Normally we're just taught rubbish.
2.5?
2.5.
2.8 that way,
2.5. Yeah.
that way, and then 2.5. It's not going to be a perfect square, but it'll do. It'll give us a. What is that? Just all the way to the front of your toes. Oh, it's like I measured it. It's 1 centimetre up.
About 68. Let's
We're
just
gonna
say
say
70.
70. So we'll say 70 that way, and then
What do you think?
I'll just do it across once more, which is probably 70. I think everything's 70 basically. So people occupy a 70 cube. Let's do my little box with a man in it. And that is also 70. This is all centimetres. It's not very engineering. We've gone through many metrics today. So we've got meters, centimetres,
Yeah,
and
we
I'm
can try-
guessing you'll do a mil.
I'm doing.
Do you want to do inches?
Oh, God.
Oh,
We're not American.
America.
America.
So shape and size. So we know this. I think we know.
I'm
what
just thinking,
shape we
rather
want.
than getting a proper box, this is the area, and basically it's 10 centimetres equals a metre.
Okay.
But this gives you your area that we need to.
Okay.
that we can
So
work
if
with.
we were to, let's do worst case, I guess. If we did just a really long table, with lots of people, I'm gonna say
Long rectangular
plus 10%. So I'm gonna say 77. So you've got wiggle room, because otherwise you're gonna be like shoulder to shoulder, aren't you? So we've got 77 centimeters and 77 centimeters. So how, if you do 5 people, 5 times 77.
I'm not doing quick maths.
Hey Google, what is 5 times 77? Did we unplug the Google?
Well, clearly it's 3.85 meters.
Really?
I'm gonna fact check myself.
I just don't.
Yeah,
know.
385.
Damn. 385. Okay.
Help if that line was straight, wouldn't it?
385. So what we're saying is we currently overextend.
Mm-hmm.
So What? It took you bloody time.
What you were crunching there, mate? What the hell?
The thing is, because the Wi-Fi is really bad in this room, it's had to wait for ages to get bandwidth, then send the message, then understand it on their end, and then send it back.
That's so bad.
What I give.
Can you put that on as a need?
Oh yeah, better Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Just do a little wish list.
No, it's just would it count as an amenity?
It's a need. It's a necessity.
Yeah, no, it is a necessity. Yeah. Probably Wi-Fi, power.
Yeah. So
we'll get back to that list.
So what we can do is we can assume that there's a triangle here, which is a right angle triangle. There is a 70 here, and there's a right angle triangle here. So you got that's 77. This line needs to equal at least, so it needs to be larger than 77 times 2.
For those listening, Luke is doing maths.
I'm a bit rusty, I'm not gonna lie, my brain's got a bit fried today. Been doing too much. And then this straight has to be lower than, so it has to be no more than the big number of 2.8.
I think if you
So-
make that 2, that gives us a bit of...
Yeah, but let's firstly see if it's possible for 5 guests in this shape.
Mm-hmm.
Who's good at Pythagoras? I've done this
He's
one
working it out.
Is he? There we go. He's on it. You know, at work I called him science guy.
Yeah.
It's just coming across now.
Gresh math.
Graph math.
Of course.
Gresh math. I forgot about Gresh math.
Yes.
Oh, it's
Do have
Gresh
that
math.
t-shirt. The science guy one.
Should have got it a size bigger.
Definitely. No, it's fine. It's fine. Maybe by the time the studio's been
Yeah.
I would have lost that weight.
Expression does the mathematics.
What else would... Chairs.
So let's stick to table first. Because, so my thinking process is we need to work out a size and a shape.
Yeah.
But the other thing we need to do is function. Because we want to do other things other than sitting around a table talking to you lovely people once every 2 weeks. And maybe we do some certain skews of that format. So we might try doing some wargaming or some RPGs.
Yeah. These will probably be a weekday night or something.
Yeah, it'll be a bonus, basically a bonus
Yeah,
episode.
yes.
But so I'll put those on. I apologise for my preschool style handwriting. I've never got any better.
Don't worry.
RPGs. And then in brackets, we're going to say D&D, ETC. So yeah. So what we to do something like that, we're going to want the square section at the front to probably have some features.
To be fair, if you look at this table size,
Yeah.
it could fit one more person on.
Yeah, we're also like a good extra foot from the wall that you technically need to be.
Yes.
Because we had to move the whole table closer so we could get the camera in shot today. And it's also it's way deeper it needs to be because it only needs to be like to the edge of the microphone.
And it's only a bit bigger now, especially for me.
Have you worked out your math?
Yeah. So if that's 77,
Yeah.
and that's 2.8, this will have to be 101.5 centimeters.
1.5.
Yeah. I was
What
just
is
saying
77 times 2?
154.
I was saying this doesn't have to be much bigger. It's only because we're drawing. It's why
Yeah.
we've moved it quite far. Because if not, they'd be kind of in the middle.
Yeah, it would. So, what's our thinking there then? Because clearly we can't allow for
Do we
that
do we
level
do
of
it
space.
for 4 people?
Yeah.
And then we just, if we have another guest,
They have to get cozy.
we have to get cozy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that'll have to be it then.
Because this is a nice amount of space.
Wait, sorry. Why are you saying that this couldn't work?
Because at the moment, so this has to be no more than 154.
Mm-hmm.
You've said that it's only 101.5.
No. This is 101.5.
That's
That's
101.5.
101.5. Yeah. So
What's this one?
So this will have to be 154.
So you've
Yeah. So I've basically set it to work to the max.
Ah.
So this is your 2.8 meters.
right.
So I've set this as a 77. So whoever's in the middle gets that 77 centimeters.
Well, everyone here should as well if there's a rectangle.
Yeah, and then along here, 154 either side, is what you'll get as well.
Okay. Do you know what angles we've got in the corner?
That I can figure out. Yeah.
Also, can we fit it all on the lens?
Yeah, we might need a wider lens.
We don't know. We've got a fish eye.
In fairness, this one is probably wide enough, and that's only a webcam, so I don't think we should struggle. Because we're going to be further. So the previous setup, genuinely in the previous setup, this is the same size room, depth-wise, as we had, but we had a bookcase behind us, which meant it was all shifted forwards, and then at the moment we're still like half a foot away from the wall, but the new camera setup will be mounted onto the wall, so we'll regain a foot there as well. So I think we're going to have around 2 foot extra distance. So our lens that we used previously, which was a 16, should get us all in shot. In fact, I'm more worried about getting in shot my toolboxes, which are over there, which is why I was talking earlier on about maybe putting in a wall or some kind of separator, just so that you can't see extra stuff. We could do fuzzy felt, so you could do pictures on it.
That'll be 30 degrees.
This one. 30 degrees. Gresh math from the Gresham. And then if you go with that, that's 90, 30. It's 110. So that means that is 70. Okay. Cool. That works. Okay. So that is this would be our podcast layout thing.
60.
Which, this bit?
This angle, 60.
60. Sorry, my brain clearly malfunctioned again. Yes, 60. So, this is this bit. I envisage we have the screw mount for each of the microphones on here, with our ones pre-set up, and then docks for guests. So that's quite an easy bit of design.
Yep.
When it comes to the rectangle section, we need to know what we're going to be doing in it. And do you have anything else other than wargaming and RPGs that you can think of? Is there anything else you would like to know? Like we can do.
Is there anything
other
you
stuff.
want us to?
Yeah, so do comment below, because we can take that on board as well. We've talked about other things like F1 before, but
We could do...
I can superimpose stuff on the rectangle if needed as well.
I think if we've got a space to be able to, so
Yeah.
potentially something like we could put a green screen or something across.
Yes.
Or like project something,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think, is that shape going to be enough to do Warhammer stuff like you wanted to?
You might have
So
to do a
do-
little bit extra.
I think the smaller game is okay.
So why do, like we said, keep something similar to this? Because primarily the majority of the time it's going to be us three.
Yep.
Do we make this a bit longer, and we have a slight angle?
I'd make that angle for us
Yep.
as the daily.
Okay.
Oh, and then make a foldable rectangle.
I wouldn't go foldable. I'd just
I
would have this bit foldable.
I'm
for
thinking
storage.
more for. I'm thinking more for like if you wanted to do a full game, it's quite a. There's a lot of space needed.
Yeah. So ironically, do you know where these tabletops that we're using today came from?
Let me guess. Something to do with a board game.
Yeah. So this used to be my attachment for the table we normally use, which sat on top to produce a Warhammer-sized table. So it had like a rectangular structure that would push on top of the rectangle table, which would make it bigger. Unfortunately, the one time I did do it, I realised we had 30 centimetres either side of the table, and you couldn't actually get out of the room.
Oh, that's a problem.
So when John came over and we played it, that was the only time we did play it. I'm trying to remember the size of the table. I think it was somewhere around 9 foot by 3 foot, because it's all in inches, of course.
Or do we have a something you can put on top to make it a square, like you said.
I would like to, but another reason I got rid of it was storage. So the entire wall where this camera is, there was 2 sets of hooks. You can see the raw plug still.
Yep.
And the tabletop took up that entire wall.
Nice.
Which is a problem if you're trying to mount anything like camera equipment or anything useful up there. I do have internet connection, so Warhammer table sizes. Oh, what is it? It's not even in freaking feet. It's in inches as well. So the largest is a 90-inch by 44-inch. I'm assuming this is an up-to-date list. A combat patrol is 40, so it's always 44. The difference is 30-inch, 60-inch, or 90-inch. What is 44 in centimeters? Just read it off. It's way easier than converting. 111.
111.
Okay, so 111. So 77. We've got 77. If we were to double it.
154.
Yes, 154. So if these bits folded.
Right, okay. Only issue with them folding.
Got no leg room.
You got
But
you got nowhere for your knees to go.
What if it's not folding?
They're just removable?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, like a French cleat.
Yes. Yeah.
You could do French cleats either side so that you have triangular removes. Because that is a lot easier to store
Yeah.
than a big tabletop.
I mean, we could just pop these 2 pieces off and either lean it against.
Or even better,
You could probably store them in. There.
you just put them on top.
Yeah. That works.
In fact, what you could do is you could put them on top and then maybe this bit somehow changes height.
I think you can store them. You'll be able to store them flat at the front here, probably.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, because we're going to have a front side that we're not using.
Yeah,
That's true.
And so you can put them in front of here and here. So the 2 triangular sections on the front, which would be I guess here. Then this little drawing up here. You'd have them up here. And then all of our cabling will come out the centre still because it's still open.
Yep, that works.
Cool.
Just another one I wanted to chuck in there was how much space do you actually envisage using kind of when you're podcasting? Normally, you'd probably maybe go hands out up until this point.
Yeah.
Realistically. So in terms of...
Does it need to be 77 basically? That's the question.
I don't think so. I mean, because I'm measuring the space that you're using right now is 30 centimeters.
you probably could do with 40 to 50.
But the thing is,
I'm thinking for we all have laptops and doesn't. But 70 odd is quite.
We currently have but we currently have our laptops in front of us.
Yes.
We're building a table. We can have. You remember those?
there's angle brackets.
The foldable angle brackets I've
Yep.
got. They're there for the days we need them. So they could be mounted underneath with a small panel for us to sit the laptop on.
Yes.
Which would make a lot more sense because it's not permanent.
We are going to have a big screen in front of us.
We are going to have a big screen. Yes, we do have a screen ready.
Yes.
Do we not?
Yes, we do.
To go on that wall.
And I have just found the remote for it.
We're
That's useful.
we're very much going to be those engineers on PowerPoint, so that we're going to have some pre-prepared slides with some images that we can talk around, which I will record as well as this video footage, and then we can flip between them a lot easier. Because at the moment, I'm manually going through and putting photos to 2 hours of footage, which takes a little while.
And it would be nice just to be able to record it. We like it. Double check it. Send it.
Yes. Yeah. So where we might have it superimposed for the footage on the table, it's the blank space. We will have it up on the screen so we know what we're talking around, so we don't have to all huddle over our laptops.
Because we did notice that when we
gremlins.
are looking at stuff, we'll all just suddenly go a bit quiet.
Yeah. It's just, where is this thing?
So I've done a quick sketch of our space,
Oh, have you?
our current space. I've got the door.
We have an orthographic view.
It's not the best. I'm very rusty on sketching.
Not as rusty as me. I do it all digitally in Outware.
So that's the door
do numbers.
behind you, Lou,
Yes.
and this is the wall next to me.
Okay.
So this is, and it's a rough size and shape.
Yes.
So we could. So you're thinking sign here?
Sign there, yeah, for the nerding out sign.
Just do a square for now.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably. I'm assuming. Can I see the? Let me just check the footage. Can you actually see that box on the wall? No. So it would just be below that box. There's the mains on-off box for the garage.
There you go.
Which is that what that fit cable is?
You won't see it because he's done the landlord special.
Because I'm basically at the edge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good place to put it. And like you said, it could be a good space to either put it in front of us to superimpose, or if we are talking about things, it'd be good to put it there.
Yes. I think that works nicely.
So we've got that. What I'll do is I'll do a nicer version later
That are nice.
if we want to do some nice pens. And then, so in terms of the desk shape, because you got your camera will probably be about here on the wall. You can't
see.
you can't really see the wall on the sketch.
The imaginary wall.
Yeah, the imaginary wall that we are looking through. And then you're wanting a nice desk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll get a fresh sheet of paper.
Oh.
So we can put together all of our ideas. So we're going to have the triangles. It's been a while.
Good way of doing it.
With attachable, so I'll do a dotted line.
You know when I say we draw with pencils, I could do with a pencil.
I only draw a pencil.
Yeah.
I do a very sketchy style. It's less engineering.
When
and
I
more
was
arty.
when I was at university, that is all we were allowed to draw with for.
What, pencil?
Really?
No, pen. Specifically a Bic marker.
You were going to change something. So, if you... Sorry, my brain... I don't think my brain processed I asked you to say it, but I didn't. So, 2 times 77. We're saying 77 is probably too much.
Let's do 50 at least.
If we just take 44 inches, which was...
110.
110. What's half of 110? So,
Half
55.
10, 55. Yeah.
So, if we change that to 55...
That changes the map.
That changes your math here.
Next.
But it means that it's the exact size needed for a Warhammer game.
Ah,
So
right.
without the extra depth that we don't need. So if we did that at 55 now, and
Then
that at 55,
this bit fold over, or
which bit?
or would you have these two bits kind of there?
This is one table
That's
in
one
this
bit,
shape.
right.
This will always be this shape.
Yeah, and then you've got where we mount
And-
our things to. And
Yeah, and where these dotted lines are,
Cool.
those are the attachments for playing a game.
Yep.
You'll have your microphone in the middle.
You're still leaving this as 77.
Yes, because width doesn't change, just depth. And then we'll have central points, I think, for aesthetics, for our mics, but then we'll have 2 screw threads embedded. We're also all going to need those through hole things, aren't they? Where you drill a hole and then you push your cable through and then put the cap in.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, so technically you could maybe squeeze up to 7 people if you want to be super cozy.
You could,
but
I mean, realistically, if you wanted, you could also you can make things easier and have 2 squeeze in the middle.
yeah,
And kind of like straddle the corner, basically.
yeah, that's true. So we could put 2 in here, So we might have some holes on the table, which are visible,
I mean, they're just caps.
but it's
anyway.
fine
Yeah.
because it means the cable only goes between the microphone and that.
Yeah.
But our primary is these three.
Yep.
Which is the central one, so we look equidistant, nice on camera, better than now. So that would be the default setup. This would be, so if you imagine the shot, your camera is going to be here. You want to be able to get that in, which means that we have an area to superimpose. Big smiley face. So a normal setup would be like that. I'll swap it around so James can see.
Are we still keeping each person's width as 77?
Yes.
There. Okay. That's fine.
If possible.
If possible.
If it is possible. Mathematically possible. if so, then we can. And whilst you do that, the other thing that I'd like to bring to the table is the fact that
So funny.
the rectangular section, like the
Something
one
like
we...
that?
Yes.
As a guest
Just like that. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Is that the rectangular section, like the one we have inside, has a sunken area.
Yes. Almost like a full indented space.
And that is for board gaming and D&D specific. So we would love to do a table large enough where you have a sunken area for Warhammer.
Yes.
But it's going to be bigger than this room if you did that.
Yeah.
So what we do is we make the sunken area just a rectangular section, so we can use it when we can. And the other good thing is, which I've been thinking about, instead of having a wooden top for it, we try and find a polycarb non-reflective clear top. So every time that we do an episode, what we could do is we could decorate the inside of it with relevant items.
Yeah.
We could
because-
do it could be some tech that we like that we can just put in there. We could have sets and then we add things in
Yes,
as and when.
exactly. I'm
'Cause you'll have a lot of
still trying to
F1.
get hold of a Sony Walkman. I've been trying every week.
Ever since Guardians of the Galaxy, they've just
So
they've
expensive
just done
now.
this.
I'm
just skyrocketed.
I'm half tempted just to buy the one I used to use because at least it has something for me. But yeah, I think that works. So a sunken. So I'm going to write that in as a side. So sunken rectangle. But yeah, I thought that would be nicer than the wood, because it means that it's kind of, it works like a foreground, and then we are the main article, and then we have the background. That
So that-
separates it.
It's going to have a little bit of an indent.
Very nice.
Ooh, very nice.
Could be better.
May I ask that when we show the shots, we leave it in our rectangle as well? So do a shot now, so I can
Like
just
this?
do... Yes. Because what I'll do at the start of the footage is I will crop
Would you just
the
segment
3
it?
points and then click between them.
Yeah. I think what we'll do is, like you say, more. But
Yeah.
when I'm showing you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
All right,
And then so we'll have little extra attachment points there.
Yeah.
there.
Oh, there's my one for reference.
Right,
So
okay.
there's one in the centre and then there's 2 either side. So what we can do is we can unhook from here and go here and here and here and here and here and here.
Yeah, you can get some screw-in inserts to cover it if you didn't want the hole
Yeah.
in there. 'Cause they're
Oh, what, these?
Yeah.
I've only seen the ones where it's a plastic cap where you drill the hole and you push it through.
Oh, you can. They're like they've got like a screw head. You can.
I guess the other option is we have a USB-C connector there.
Yeah, I suppose we are. How long?
Slash whatever that's
yeah.
called, the XLR connector. You could do
I
XLR.
would just do this because this is going to be a lot, and then having a hole for cables.
It also means that if we were to review anything, we have cable access to put power
Yes.
Yeah.
to the so we can have a product plugged in.
Gonna raise a tiny issue. The
Here
math,
we
the
go.
math is gonna cause problems.
Uh-oh.
So if you want each person to have 77 centimeters worth of width,
Yeah.
So if you assume the square is what it is, and you get your 77, and keep that as 154, so then you have two people capable of having 77 each. This ends up being 143.8.
Right.
Which, if you 143.8 times by 2 plus 77, that ends up with 3.6 meters, which we don't have width-wise.
Yes.
I think
but
we change it.
If we yes, so that's why I've done this. There's option 2, where I'm giving you a setup that does work, but instead, so this is still relying on you wanting to retain your 77 centimeters for the middle person, and then 55 width-wise, kind of like you've done here. So then this drops this section to 115.4 centimeters. So that means each person gets 57.7. So if you want to measure that out, see if you're comfortable with that much.
57.
It's just you need to do shoulder to shoulders of someone, don't you?
57.7.
If that's per person, what's the full length?
So this is 57.7 if you were to have
That's fine.
2 guests.
Okay.
That's
fine because
So
we can
that's 5 people.
because we could distribute 1, 2,
And we could
3,
we could straddle
4,
straddle the corners.
5, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we can do that. Mm-hmm.
Cool. That will give you an angle of 28.5 degrees.
Okay.
So our new triangle.
So let's do a new numerical version then.
Yep.
Down here, which doesn't have all the drawings on
Should
it.
we do everything in mil?
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
We are living in the metric age, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 28.5
Degrees. Yeah. This will be 1,154 mil. This will be 770.
770 millimeters.
That will be 550.
550 millimeters.
This will be 550 again. Yeah.
550
And then
millimeters.
this should theoretically be 2,800.
2,800 millimeters. And what was our Warhammer size? It was 90 inches.
90 inches.
Well, which one do we want to go with? 60 or 90 inches?
Are you wanting it to go? Because won't it hit the garage? Will it hit the door there? If we go to the 200 and
The 2,800.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true. It will be touching the door.
and it's going to be right to here.
Yeah.
So I would say go to 2,000. I know it might change it a lot, but I think if we keep that and reduce that,
I would say we should go to 1,524 millimeters.
What?
There.
that's quite a lot
That's
off.
quite a lot off.
Yeah.
Plus,
Why? Where's that coming from?
It's just a wargaming size.
Yeah.
So if you did a strike force, it was that.
No. So that's fair enough. But you'd still want a little bit
Just
of space
hold
so you
that
can
for-
actually have
I'll go to 2.
a little bit more.
How much? 1,000? I'll do yours.
1,524.
There.
That's
But
great.
that's realistic, right?
That's a bit more realistic. That give.
Thoughts on 2,500 is probably what I'd do.
Right, do you want to move to that?
Keep going.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Because
the chair's going to fall.
Because 2.8 meters.
I'm out of the shot by quite a lot.
2.8 meters.
We are going to be at angles there.
Yeah, true.
2.8 meters is what you measured from like the edge.
Yeah.
So if we
That's 2.5.
lop off 30 centimeters from that.
I'm inside the door.
Do you want to just
That's
put it?
too far.
Well, no, because you're going to be at
No,
an angle.
because now that won't be touching the.
No, but people have square chairs, right?
True.
I would go 2,000 if that's a.
2,000. Let's go 2,000 again.
Sorry, people who are listening.
That's all right. We're just doing some math.
There we are, 2 meters.
I think that's more realistic.
That's to the back of my chair.
Yeah, because I will be here. Yeah.
And then I'll have space here too.
Okay. Wait.
Oop.
That's a lot. So let's say.
Sorry, Gresham, your
2.
maths.
Yeah, that's
Back
just
to the maths, Gresham.
Me.
He's here for the He is the calculator.
me changing the maths.
Gresham math, do. Gresham math, doing math with the Gresham. This is like a really shy kids
Smartest
TV
man
show from the
in
90s.
the world, Gresham.
Yeah. Okay. So you want it to keep it as 2,000 mil?
Just yeah, do round.
Gresham
a
does
nice
maths.
round 2,000 millimeters.
Nice round 2,000 mil. Nice.
Gresham is thinking.
Thoughts on the middle section for the width?
What was your width you gave to the other guys last time?
So originally we were doing 770, and then for these guys it will be 57.7. So 570.
I would do however it works out.
I think we would just do equal for 5 people length, right?
Okay.
I
So
think that's
whatever
kind of
that
what I would have
is-
done here, where it's.
You guys do other stuff. I'm gonna have to do
Right.
algebra.
Get your algebra out, yo. Right, so we're just gonna cross these numbers out now and move on briefly. So we've talked about that. Now, do we think the table height is a thing as well?
I do think that can be adjusted. I think that's something we
Yeah.
have to be adjustable.
So my thought process was with it. The table is going to be used for this, but it will also be wheeled over to that side of the garage, and I will be using it for larger builds. Where I'm going to store those larger builds, I have no idea.
That's another problem to figure
But-
out at a later date.
I would like to do some larger
I'm
builds.
assuming this is your one. This one you want to keep, right?
the
width.
the overall.
The depth.
Should we just measure it in real life just to check that we're happy?
Yep.
Next, what are we wanting?
That's 110,
Oh,
I
yes.
think. Let me just check that against this. So whatever 44 is. Oh, not 44
Oh.
again.
Your favourite number.
It's
your
one-
Favorite driver.
It's 112. Yeah, that's realistic, isn't it?
Yes. As we mentioned, I mean, yeah.
It's going to be an interesting shape. It's
What will
nothing
do?
like
Okay,
the shapes
so
we're drawing.
in that case,
No.
make it 56.
56.
Alright, keep that 56. Okay, cool. You guys can go on. I'll get back to you when I'm.
This means that we have a strike force capable table, which is apparently some level of points. And
So are we going to be able to start painting again and it be worth it?
Maybe. I mean, I guess I should probably start painting more on my channel. Here we go.
For those listening, we used to, me and Luke used to paint, but then they decided to change the rules before we finished.
a strike force is a 2,000 point army.
I think I am about 1,000.
I think I might have a strike force in 9th, but I have no idea if that's still
Oh
around
yeah, I don't know
10th.
if I have the newest one.
Because I haven't even got a copy of 10th, because I'm assuming 11th will be out soon, so I might as well buy that one.
Or do we just play it to?
I think just paint as much as possible and hope you have enough people.
Yeah.
So yeah. So table,
Mhm.
it will also be pushed over there, so there's also going to be height adjustment.
I think the height adjustment can come in whatever form.
When it comes to framework underneath, my assumption would be basic framework like I've done for my tables before. So if you take the, let me just flip it over. So you have a frame that runs across there, and then the shorter one here. With battens along there, along the back. So what we create is a one-side open-ended structure, and these are all done so that they're squares. I can draw a rectangle quite well.
And then the top will
So that,
Yep.
that are all like a rectangular
box frame,
basically.
a square frame.
And then the top's going to be made of plywood, so it's going to be sturdy for just that.
Yeah.
The only thing will be we have to make sure that when we use it, the cleats that are on this piece here don't interfere with people's legs. That's the only concern I have.
Think if we're at for the majority of the time, it'll be fine because we're going to be sat.
Yeah, we'll be sat.
Yeah, and then when we have lots of people, we will just squash together.
Yeah. Someone might have to straddle the odd post.
That's fine. I think.
And that's why we mainly get strippers in.
Yes.
Gresham just clocked in again.
What?
I'm joking. Joking. Let's keep it PC.
Problem is that we're so used to this, we're filming.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's the table other than the maths sorted. So Gresham can...
It's going to roughly be this shape.
It's going to be that shape. We're going to have some areas to change where the microphones sit. We've got enough space that we can put the two triangles on and have quite a large game.
I was wondering if we went for something akin to that, a larger IKEA stand, you know, the ones that you can swivel to adjust the height.
Adjust the height. We could do...
If you truly need to constantly adjust the height, which is what you said you wanted.
Yeah, I want to wheel it over easily and adjust the height. Yeah, that's true. You could also... what are they called? Scissor lifts.
Yes, but they will also get... I'm thinking it's a 4-poster is the IKEA one.
I don't know, just a big scissor lift.
Yeah.
One that's this big.
Yeah, but I think...
1 metre square scissor lift.
If somebody sat in the middle... Yeah.
No, you can make them.
Oh, yeah, I suppose we can make them.
Because it just needs to take the weight of the top. So the legs could remain where they are, and it could be the top that rises.
Oh, here's an idea. We build it at the height we want it.
Yeah.
As in, we have some frame that
Yeah.
sits at the height, and we have a little bit here. You can wheel it in,
Wheel something out underneath it,
and then
just
lift it
lifts
up.
it.
Because then it'll always be set up for us to sit to
True.
here, and then you can have it as whatever adjustable height you
True.
want.
I mean, I could just do a sitting down if I have to. I do at the moment, so it's not too bad.
Do you want to do that? And it's going to be at a height where you're
Possibly,
comfortable.
yeah. I mean, I think one way or the other, getting the base framework is going to be the first step anyway, and getting this table built.
So it'll be easier to build a frame that's not self-adjusting.
Yes, and it'll be quite easy, I'm assuming, to then do something so it can rise in comparison.
That's where I think it's going to be.
Because I could just have 4 chocks I put on the floor and then lift the table onto it.
Yeah, but that's quite a lot of work to... and a big table.
I've got jacks.
Okay, then yeah.
I'm used to raising cars. This is fine.
But
As long as
you already do your back out from looking at something.
I'm getting old. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think a table. Have you got? He's getting no numbers. So
he's got numbers.
he's not yet. He's
The
still
math
working on it.
is slowly taking over the page.
It's some pretty foul equations because we're dealing with 2 different unknowns. We know what those unknowns need to get to. It's just.
Do you know how we would do it?
I'd use it on the calculator.
What we would do is measure, cut, and stick
This
together.
is also true. Yeah.
That is how I made the version 2 of the Ultimate Desk upstairs originally.
Huh?
I literally just went, I need to sit here. I measured the length between the 2 corners and then cut the triangle.
Nice.
That was it. So I think the table is sorted. I think what we can do that way, we can have podcast content, we have game content, all from one setup. We don't even know if we're going to do game content for sure, but we want to make sure that it's forward compatible at least, which is good. I think that covers the table. So do you want to place table on plan when Gresham's done?
When Gresham's done, I will put this under here for now. And we can do a guesstimate of...
Shall we do something a bit more a bit more, something you really need to do lots of research for in science. Colours.
Colours.
Yes.
Colour science
Lots
is...
of colour.
Innovation.
Innovation. So, at the moment, clearly we've got a millennial grey backdrop because I needed something that reflected light that wasn't dark stone. It also looks very studio-y. Very studio-y.
Especially with the brick showing.
It does. It does. We do have a very studio-looking studio now.
We're getting there.
Other than this garage door, which I can see behind me, which we're going to have to find a way of putting a facade up.
We are going to put something...
We were talking about a curtain green screen at one point. I do wonder whether it needs to be a green screen or if it could just be that thick black stage curtain, which is very good at deadening out sound.
And because of how thick it is, it'll actually act as decent insulation in the winter.
Yes.
Yeah.
We already have a curtain rail.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. And we know someone that knows about curtains.
I will ask.
Yes, please do. So that we can try and get a big thick black curtain behind. Or maybe we try and find something that can be put on top of this colour with the black curtain behind it.
Yeah, you can...
So we can do something like that. That would be quite nice. We'll paint on lots of bricks. Get the paints up. We'll get the bricks that we go outside. And those potato shapes. You just get the brick and some paint.
Just go
splodge all over the curtain to make a fake brick effect.
What could possibly go wrong?
It would definitely work.
Yeah,
Definitely won't soak through and make a mess.
We'll probably just stick with the black curtain.
Yeah, maybe.
I think the contrast will be okay.
Yeah.
We'd have to do it here though. To make
Other practical stuff that's kind of off this. I've already planned where all the sockets are going.
Yeah.
I've already planned and researched all of the stage lighting. Although we think we might actually end up with these lights for a bit because they're pretty good, and this is the best lighting we've actually had for our podcast episode, which is quite interesting, seeing that we set it up today. Of course, we are going to have a mount on the ceiling, but we won't always have a camera there. We're going to have a camera here, which would be the one we currently have on the ceiling, because this one's not as high quality. The other thought process I did have, however, on that note was, would we want to maybe put an arm in the middle of the table furthest over there with 3 cameras to do multicam? Because a lot of podcasts go one to the other, and basically the person in the middle's camera, being Gresham, you have 2 modes of it. You have zoomed in mode where you just see Gresham, and you have wide mode where you see all of us. So you can go between a wide shot to many
I'm wondering
shots.
if that's a later add-on.
Maybe, but if I don't need to zoom in, I can probably use all the cameras we've already got.
I would think that would be...
So it might be something I try out without you guys knowing. You turn up one day like, guess what I did?
That's usually how this works, though.
Yeah. So that might happen at some point, because I do use multiple cameras when recording my content.
I think for you it would make more sense. For the podcast, it's kind of like more of an open discussion.
Open discussion. It would make my AI shorts a lot easier, though.
Yes.
But
that's something that is something that could be added on.
Yes.
Later. That's not
sure.
like it's not going to change the style
No.
desk or anything.
But colours wise, so we've got grey. Table colour, I was thinking we'll probably end up with white, just because it's cheap and easy, and whatever we put on the table will stand out.
And then
including the stuff in the recess.
Ooh,
yeah, I was going to say,
coming out.
Would you put a different colour for the inlay, the little cavity?
I was thinking we'd go with this colour for the inlay.
Oh, okay.
So that once again, whatever we put in there stands out. The other thing I was thinking about was maybe we should put some lighting inside it.
Yep.
So it illuminates everything inside.
But hidden so that you don't really see the...
Yes.
Well, you can just have a nice lip and it'll be...
Yeah.
The lip that the plastic sits on is also the lights.
Yes, underneath them, yes.
Pointing down.
A nice glow.
But if we were to do that in RGB, it means that we can change the colour.
Oh, I would only go RGB lights.
Based on the topic. So, like the D&D, the profile picture that I did, John has a red backdrop because the D&D logo is red. If I do like special effects one, I think I did the dinosaur a different colour or something. So we can change around with the color of what's inside the cavity.
Whatever we do on there can match with the surrounding light of the logo.
Potentially, yeah, we could do RGB inside that logo as well, which would be interesting. We also have. I've already bought a clock, just because I saw a clock and I liked it. Because I was thinking, if we do the set as really, really beigey, greyish colours, we can then make pops of colour.
And that's good. Yes.
So I was thinking, it probably won't be even on show, the clock. It's more for us to know what time it is.
Yeah.
Because right now, do you know how long we've been filming for?
No.
No. We're currently at 1 hour now.
That's gone quick.
Yeah, we've done quite well. That does include us faffing with the camera, but
That's some shorts later on.
yes. So, pops of colour. I was thinking something that might be interesting, because we're doing this big white desk, which kind of looks like a 1960s Doctor Who set. I'm not gonna lie. We might want to go with 1960s retro aesthetic for things like the chairs. So something, they went through the phase of doing these like fiberglass chairs in bright colours. So maybe we can't fit the big bulky chairs in that they did, but maybe pulling those colours.
We could pull the colours because there's lots of gaming chair companies.
Gaming chair companies?
Yes.
Do you want to sponsor us?
Please do. They do lots of custom colours.
Okay.
They have a variety of bright colours.
Okay.
As well as millennial grey, dingy black, and things like, there's a lot of different dark colours, but there's a lot of bright colours coming in.
Interesting.
They also do some from TV shows, I found. And I was tempted to get one that had Game of Thrones on it.
Did you?
Yes.
Game of Thrones, yes.
It was the North.
Oh, dear. Okay, so we can pull some colours.
So we could do something like that. We could get the chairs bright.
Matching or different?
Well, there's a few options we could do here if we do the gaming side, Jesse.
Okay.
You can get them embroidered with whatever you want on the back. So you could have individual names.
So we could have individual names. We could also have, like...
I do like the different colours.
So I had an idea earlier. Okay.
Okay, for those here, he has got a big smile on his face.
That's dangerous.
Out of the two of
He's
you,
been thinking.
out of the two of you, which one would say the biggest F1 fan is? So you could have a racing seat in a bright colour, mounted to a frame. Gresham likes planes. So could we make a cockpit seat?
Yeah, like a pilot's seat.
Or one that's in Concords, like for the aisles seats. Yeah. And then I could do the golden throne for the emperor. And then you can praise me.
Now this is. I was on the last one. There's just something about that last.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah.
Or we switch it up. I'll take the gold throne. You get the F1s.
Oh no.
Probably that works out really well for me either way.
Wait. Actually, no. They could just all be thrones. Lord of the Rings theme for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Star Wars for you.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'll be happy to take a pilot seat.
Yeah.
A pilot seat or an F1 seat.
I wonder
Yeah.
if it wouldn't surprise me if said companies do
Specific type. Especially flight. I reckon the flight ones exist because of Flight Simulator.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I reckon I have seen a Lord of the Rings one, and I reckon I have seen.
What kind of cost are these?
This is where the customizability come into it.
Okay.
Genuinely, I haven't seen any style like that go more than 400.
Okay.
Which
it's not terrible. It's high, but not terrible.
But those are your customized ones.
Okay.
If you went for generic colours,
okay,
you're talking probably the 300 foot, the lower 300s.
So maybe the trying to find something on eBay scenario might be better, and we could do it like a challenge where we all set ourselves a budget of £50 to £100, and we buy our own chair, and then we do a reveal at the start of the episode.
Not the...
I was on the internet this week and I found this.
You can't show that, Jeremy.
And this.
Not that either. Actually, can I? I'll borrow your laptop. I'll have a quick.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Just so we can have a look. See.
Have you done the math yet? Oh, okay, we got some numbers.
Wait, patience.
Oh.
Keep your concentration here and now where it belongs. Is it beginning to look a lot like Christmas? Lots of...
Oh, actually, there's some on Amazon which are surprisingly cheap. I'm hoping this is not for children. There we are.
Amy can have that size, but I can't. 169. Not terrible.
And that is a...
But we could make a throne out of human skulls
Yes.
and cover it in blood for the blood god.
For the blood god.
Skulls for the skull throne and blood for the blood god. But yeah, I think at the same time we need to make sure they pop with colour.
Yes.
And something quite bright.
Numbers have been crunched.
Numbers
Oh,
have been
look, we
crunched.
got a
We can
favourite
go
one
back to the
for
table
you.
to finish it off.
I just want to say these are disgusting equations.
But does it actually add up to the right numbers?
Yes. So we've got a dimension for person in the middle, and then whatever the dimension is there for that. So I've just called it B. So
Okay.
X plus 2 of those has
Yeah.
to equal 2 meters, right?
Yes.
And then for the width, that height has to be 560 mil.
Yes.
Sweet. Okay. Based on that, I've got a calculation of X. So each person will have a distance of 473.3 mil to work with.
Let's get the tape measure out. Let's
Yeah.
get the tape measure out. Make sure that none of us are actually wider than that.
See if
for a
you're
start.
happy with that.
47.
Yeah, it does get quite. I told you.
That's less than my shoulders,
I told you it was going to get quite crunchy.
Is that per? Is that for two people?
So that is if we were to have 5 people. So me in the middle, I'll have 477.3, and then each of the side bits end up being.
That's at the point where the microphones are going to be interfering. I think.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I think let's stick with 3, and what we can do is angle them away for if we have an extra 2 people.
These are the numbers. You want.
These are the numbers. These are the numbers, people.
The numbers don't lie. I'm
He's-
telling you, the
he's
numbers
tapping.
don't lie.
Tapping.
But effectively, if we want, this ultimately this length of X plus 2b having to be 2 meters, that's your main constraint really coming in.
Unless you change that. To be deeper, I guess.
Yeah, that could have an impact.
I'm looking at this.
I mean,
And it
definitely
seems
will
to be.
If you can you change one number in here?
Yeah.
Without it collapsing.
So this dim here, what's it called? B. So for 2 people would be you're looking at 763. No, sorry.
Because we can always keep you as 1.
As 1.
Yeah, on your ones. So no need for these extras.
Yeah.
Just make sure that we have enough space here. And by increasing this depth, you're technically then going to increase that length, right?
Yep.
So maybe we should set this.
Why do you add an extra 10 centimeters on top?
Well,
Oh,
just
well,
measure.
for each
You just
person.
measure James's shoulders. James has got the wider shoulders because he's got the rugby build.
Do you
This
remember
is
your dims?
why I
Do
need
you remember
someone
your
else.
dims for your suit?
Yeah.
Not really.
Out a bit more. Stop. And then pull towards you, Gresham, a bit. Bit more. And there.
You're looking about 630. 630.
So if you did
You're definitely, at that point, you're approaching your original. You're not far off from your original 77 that you set.
630, and then
Can I just make a plea to Secret Lab? Please sponsor us.
630 times 2. And then just make that dimension whatever it needs to be, so this is 200. See how wide it goes?
Okay, I can do that.
See, that's like the two extremities, and then we can go somewhere in the middle. Is that the...
Whoa, that's a Warhammer one, isn't it? No.
So,
yeah, it is. It is.
I've seen these. Because it's got the word Warhammer with it, look at the price.
Yeah.
Although it is the Blue Boys.
It is the Ultramarines, yeah.
You're not a fan of, are you?
I just don't like the Smurfs.
But these types of chairs, you can get them for very cheap online. I have been looking.
Okay.
So we could do that, and
Patent pending cold cure foam.
yes, it doesn't make sense.
No, okay.
Don't bother.
Fair enough.
Although if they do sponsor us, I'll happily talk about it.
Yep,
Yes.
I'll be happy to explore.
If they'd like to send us some samples, go for it.
Please do.
And if they do them in any other, different.
Just Ultramarines. We get nothing but free Ultramarines. They're all like,
But we could do something like that if you wanted to get them all the same, so there's some uniformity, but different colours.
Yeah.
You can do that. There's a lot of options, I believe, with this. So that is something to look at later.
I'm definitely going towards, I want to go silly. So my original one that I really wanted was an egg chair, but I'm never going to get one in here.
And then you sort of sitting in there.
Yeah. But something that retro is what I'd go with. I think if we have different styles and they're all bright colours, that's fine.
Why do we do that then? Have
Because
three.
I don't really like sitting in gaming chairs as much as a harder chair because of my back. I find the gaming chairs actually hurt more. Which is why I don't have a gaming chair. I've got a Herman Miller Aeron 2, I think it is.
I have got an IQ one, which seems to work really well.
Yeah.
But that is because of my torso is much it's proportioned a bit different to the.
It's the proportions of whoever makes the chair.
Yes.
Is the thing.
Yeah. There is some really nice Herman Miller ones, but Herman Miller, please sponsor us.
Yeah. But the
are spenny.
Oh yes, they are.
yes, they are. I bought mine second hand though, which was a lot cheaper.
the
It was
one I-
300-ish.
The one I was looking at was 1,400.
Like
1,000.
brand new.
Yeah.
Brand new they are.
Brand new Herman Millers. Just,
Yes.
a bit.
But office clearance sales are great.
Yes. Yes.
Has that ever happened before?
There's been a couple. Yeah.
I mean, I just got mine from a website that sells second-hand office stuff. And then I had one that broke at one point as well. And what I ended up doing was Dad's one broke at the same time, but different bits broke. So Dad's now got a hybrid of a black and a white one.
A chess set.
That I put together. Yeah, it looks really cool actually.
Okay, well that could be done for the chairs. We all pick a chair,
We all pick a chair. I think we assign ourselves colours.
assign ourselves colours. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe, or do we assign ourselves the same colour and have different styles? That could look quite good. And do we just go with the logo colour, which is green?
So all green but different.
Yeah, that could be quite nice.
You all have different heights. It'd be quite funny actually. But you're
Well,
not going
I
to see
could
them.
obviously-
You're not going to see them lots of the time.
No, we also all have make some spaces. But we do have 3D printers, just so they're all the same height. It doesn't change a massive amount. Like if I got a monolithic fiberglass thing,
That's what he wants to do.
or one of the Stark style chairs, you just need to put little feet under them and stick them on. So that'll be fine.
I think Luke's going to go for the. Grass, see what you think. Do you reckon he's going to go for that clear chair?
What kind of chair do you want? A flight chair now? Is that it? You're sold on the flight chair.
I don't know. It was just if we were to do themes.
Can you get
Should we go to a breaker's yard and see if we can get
an EasyJet chair? Because that's orange.
oh, they're so uncomfortable.
I mean, the Breaker's Yard is actually not the worst option.
See if we can get first class.
Yeah, first class. Ew.
And the thing is, like, you do get a lot, especially in our area, and the antique shops tend to have a lot of
I've got a
random
better
shit.
one. Sri Lankan Airlines.
That's actually quite comfy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
they
could
are.
try and get one of those seats.
I think it'd be very difficult to get a hold of.
Ask some relatives, see if they know any contacts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good idea. So we've got the desk. Gresham's redoing maths.
Yeah, he's doing maths. Oh, sorry, Gresham.
No.
He's doing all
No,
the
no,
maths today.
Cheers, man.
I'm trying to like stay engaged with you guys as well.
In terms of the logo, do you want to actually get a 3D one off at the start? We superimpose it in.
Depends on how quickly I can build it, but the building it won't be too bad because it's just text files in CAD.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just going to do nerding. I'm trying to remember our logo. I can't. Is it nerding out as one text and then it swaps?
No, now geeking.
Yeah.
Yes.
So nerding out is glowing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to do that in that text, but make it in a translucent, clear filament for each letter and print them individually, and then attach them, and then put LED strip inside green.
Yeah.
For nerding out, and then underneath geeking out, I was going to do it in the probably just basic grey and then spray it up and paint it.
Yeah.
And then above it, either we set one of the studio lights that we on the ceiling to illuminate that bit with a narrow beam using the barn doors, or we have the
I think you get those ones that you attach on them.
the lights that
Yeah.
I can draw one for the viewers at home, but they come out and then go round like a swan neck, and then they've got this tube on the end.
You see them there. I think they're referred to as picture frame lights.
Yeah, picture frame lights.
You see them in older.
Older properties like the National Trust.
Yes.
Oh, yes. But yeah, I thought those would be quite nice because if I was to get them and then paint them in silver or black, they could look quite a lot like street lamps.
I was thinking something very industrial style. You know, like you'll get in the American signs. You know, where they have just a simple straight line with a block on the end. That light up.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah, actually, I need to jog my old memory there. So that's the.
I picture something, but I can't. It's like I just can't remember the name.
It's just going to cut on neons. USA lighting signs.
Yeah. But I think something like that too. Are we going to have it offset from the wall and have some glow around it?
The glow will be the nerding out will on the camera it will already flare, so it look like a lightsaber does on screen. Mm-hmm. Where you have a white core and then it glows out. The geeking out it will only if it's these curved ones which point back, it will just illuminate backwards onto the logo. So there won't be any backglow for that bit.
I was thinking more for the whole sign. So it's like.
It won't be a square.
Are you doing it at the full?
It's literally going to be the text on that wall. Which if you do look at, I think it's. I don't know if you saw it. There was an early iteration I did of the logo where it didn't have us in it at all, and it was the logo with a brickwork behind. Mm-hmm. So I was figuring, basically, we make that on here.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I just thought it'd be easy if it was in a framed bit for you to superimpose things, but if you're doing it on the table,
we can do the superimposing on the rectangle on the table now. He's closed the thing.
Uh-oh.
Got bad news.
It's not working.
Oh no, not again.
You're gonna need the tape measure. If you were to take,
how long is it? Is this like that long plane that they predicted by NASA?
So you've got each person being 630 mil. That's what we've taken. 630 mil width.
Yeah.
Comfy. Your to make sure your x plus two bits on the side equals 2 meters still. Your depth, your height, I suppose.
Yeah.
Your depth in this case. Yeah, that's gonna have to end up being 1,057 mil. So just over a meter. Whoa.
Wait, what? I can't see where I am.
That's not inches.
105.7. There you go.
Oh, really?
Is that it?
That's doable.
Are you worried about that?
Because you were wanting to do this bit as well. because you don't get.
Oh, this is this bit.
This is that bit.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
actually very problematic.
But if we just did it as that, yeah.
No.
How about we just make it to a rough?
Right.
I don't think we should do it for. We have. If we get guests, we cram into one space. Let's do it comfortable for 3 of us.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like. So where did we start? We started with.
We start with 2.8 meters.
Right. Where's my paper?
There you go. This is what you started with. And this
kind of worked, but we
This
don't realise
works.
that's way too long.
This works, but it'll take you all the way up to the extremities.
Okay. So.
We could probably try and find a compromise between 2 and 2.8 meters, realistically. Is what you're looking for.
I was thinking because if you get people in,
Yeah.
you can sit at a bit more of an angle.
True.
So should we do something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
I think let's make it fit the space as opposed to fit us. Lots of people, should I say?
I mean, yeah. Realistically, if you.
To be fair, you might as well do it as that because you're looking at doing a rectangle that's 90 inches.
Centimeters. What?
No.
Oh, it's either 90 or 60. I think 60 is more realistic because 90 you go up to 2 meters 20.
Which is doable.
It's
Well, you say that.
No, but like go up to where the camera can actually see.
well, I'm doing it at the back of me.
Where is it now for you? Yeah, that's too long. That's too long.
I think
I think the 1500 is a realistic size for this space, and we can fit a size in there.
just go to 2, cause like, as in size wise, so we can see.
I think the camera's going to struggle at 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much further can we go with lenses?
Let's fit it for 3 people,
Fit it with 3 people.
and then we can do what we've got here
I'm
now.
I'm definitely going to say 1,500. Also, you have to realise there is no panel in the world that comes at 2 meters easily. They're all 1,800.
Mhm.
I think we go as small as possible so we have space to move as well, because we also at the moment we may not have everything around us, right?
Yeah.
That we need.
I think do it for make it big enough for 3 people.
In that case, shall I do it to what's it called?
I'll tell you what genuinely what you do is
630 by kind of 6.
compromise. We've always done it for 5 people. We do it for 4. We give you double width, nominal, which is
Why do we put the person on the like that corner bit?
Well, what I'm thinking is we sit here, Gresham sits there, and then when we get an extra person in, we mark over there. So
And then move.
you end up with like a triangle like that.
Basically, for the middle bit, do have 3 holes.
Yeah.
So then when guest comes, I go there, guest goes there.
Yeah.
And then if we get any more,
Yes.
we make do. We
Exactly.
get comfy.
So
Okay,
you end up with a triangle with your centre point here. This is 77 again. This is double 77. This is 77.
Oh, we're moving back to 77.
I guess so.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't
we
know.
can do. That's fine. That does work a lot.
And
better.
then you go 1,500. I guess. Along that way. Is that gonna work?
So you think
Why don't you go the size
you-
of a
you
sheet
think 2 meters
at 180? At 100, yeah, 1,800.
Because that works in this space, right? What we've got here is basically, 14?
You want to push it to?
Do it a meter. Do it 100.
Huh?
Do the central bit at a meter,
You want to do that as a meter?
because you're doing it at 77. Just doing it as 100.
Can you get 2 people in there? I mean, what we have now has got 2 people's worth, right? Okay. So if we do 77 here,
So that's
that
you,
goes to there. That's me.
you comfortable-ish.
That's me comfortable. And you can you do the same over there and still be in shot?
Can I have the 77?
Yeah. Not with the current camera. But
I will be. It'll be close to that edge, which is
Okay.
why I was thinking if we just did this to a 100, did these at 70, then that's a.
yeah.
Do the centre at 100, and then whatever these end up being, is what it is.
So yeah, for 1500.
Do you want to do 15 or do you want to
15
do
or 18.
the size of the actual?
Just go 15. We need space to walk around.
Okay. Yeah. Then 15.
I don't want to have to. At the moment, we can't walk. We just trip over instantly. So
We will trip over when we've got a load of wires.
because we'll still have wires in the way
Well,
is the
we
issue,
can
and I
take
want to be able to get to this side of the table and to be able to play with the PC and the wires. So we need to have walkway space.
Okay. Then do that.
So yeah, let's try and keep it
And
reasonable.
then what's the? And you're wanting that added depth to be
215 per side. And that'll be-
Well, the overall depth is going to be what 44 inches was,
56.
which is 56 total.
44 inches.
Mhm.
That's 112.
Oh yes.
So yeah. That's what we went with 112.
Yeah.
That's
why we
from
did
there
the
to
level.
there.
What was that?
So okay, so this bit's still obviously a thing, right? This big rectangle.
There's a rectangle and a triangle.
Yeah, cool.
But it doesn't have to be half, I guess.
It could be. That could be
do
50.
that.
Do you want to do 50?
Let me.
Yeah, do that.
We've overcomplicated it by adding this space. The only thing is, when it comes to a cavity, it has to be a square.
Why don't we just do that one as 50? 60. Just cut it in half.
Just cut in half. If
Just try-
it's cut in half, it's 56.
Yeah, just do 56 then.
Cool.
Okay, so our final.
Final. Well, yeah, I was gonna say version 4.
I'm gonna try and do it a bit more realistic.
Remember, you got to do version 4. Save it as final.
Final.
Definitely version.
Definitely version. Final. And that is 560 and 560, and your width is
Are we doing that as 100?
100, and that is and that is 500.
Yep, that's what you said.
60 inches. It's exactly 1524.
It's worth saying, I think you might be able to get one of those standing desks for that in that space.
Yeah. We also aren't technically thinking. We aren't thinking fourth dimensionally. We're not thinking third dimensionally because we've always been thinking that we have 3 and then everyone has to fit in these sides.
Yeah.
You could also just get away
Yeah.
with putting people on the ends.
If we've got space to put if we have space to put the connections, then let's
Yeah.
do that.
Just make sure we have points everywhere. Basically, just make sure there's a screw thread. We split every panel into 3
Yeah.
with screw threads
So that we've got space.
and outlet holes. So you end up with a pattern around the edge, basically. But that makes sense.
We could put female USB-C connectors in there, embedded in.
Right. The maths.
Will does math work?
Does math work? It's a question. Good question.
What are you looking at, Gresham? No!
You can't show that.
Can't show that on the
Sorry.
screen.
But it's 4K. Okay.
Yes,
so
yes, it is. Fucking.
Yes, the upwards one is.
If you want central bit to be 1,000 mil, and then the entire length being 1,500, that means these 2 wings have to be 250 mil long.
1,000 mil. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
correct.
1,000 is
1,000
1
mil.
metre.
I'm
Yeah.
working in mil.
Okay,
Yeah.
so these
1,000
ends-
mil. So then that's 250 for this length. So if you look at 250 off the side of your side. Yeah, that's how aggressive of a chamfer you're going for.
That's 250.
That's 25 centimeters.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. So then that is. So think about this bit sticking out your side. Then you're gonna have a very aggressive piece kind of going straight from here to there. And that will leave you with. Where we have this number? Oh dear.
I think we, like you said, just go equal. What would it take to? Do you want it to?
And this is all whilst keeping that 560 depth. Your
No, it's literally it's.
What's that? Right.
What's the length of that line there?
that's 613.
Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's fine.
So let me just put this on here.
613 is less than.
Actually, we've got
water.
word. I can just draw
Yeah,
the
but
word.
I'm the anomaly.
No, not really, because I'm not too far out from yours. Either.
That's
What was the
45.
length?
It ends up being 613.
Bearing in mind, it's not. It's going to be a bit shorter than this. Yeah,
It's not bad.
I think that's good.
We can work with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm going to be still in shot even on with this camera for that. Probably
just-
more so because
Luke, bring it in as well, because this isn't.
It'll be in a lot more because it's only 25 centimeters from there. So.
I thought it was 25 centimeters from the end.
No. So I'm keeping this dimension.
All right, 5.
Your 560 I'm keeping.
Yep.
And then so whatever your little triangular wing looks like out there, that has to be 250. So 25 centimeters from there out.
25 from there.
And then this line to here is 613. It still works.
Yeah.
It's not as harsh as you guys kind of sitting at.
That's
90 degree
fine.
angles.
I think that's fine.
I mean, that it makes it look better on film anyway because the lovely people at home can now actually see like my torso, not just the side of my face.
Yes.
Yep.
That's enough.
Should we just do that then? And then it's only
Right.
a small. It's only small bits.
It's
you need.
decided, Gresham. Well done. After all of your maths, you've done a very good job. I am so proud of you. Oh, my
Right.
boy. Right, what's all the angles
Shall
then?
we
Because you
actually
put it on the
record
screen,
that?
right?
Yeah. So your angle there is going to be 66 degrees.
Wait, which one? This one?
Yep, that one's going to be 66 degrees.
66 degrees.
And then B is going to be 24.
That'll be 90. This one will be 24.
Yep.
This is 250.
Yep, 250 mil.
We set this.
So that's
That's 250.
Yeah, that's 1,000 mil. And then this is 613.3.
613.3
Yep.
millimeters. And this one is 560 by that length.
Yep.
What we got? 1524.
So these might change a little bit.
Yeah, because you originally told me it was going to be 1,500, but I can make that change.
Yeah, it won't take much.
It's barely any change.
We
can
have
just-
successfully
you can-
designed the table.
Yep.
And I think at 1 hour 36,
Yes, we've spoke about what we're going to do.
it's a very different podcast with lots of visuals and
We
lots of
do
chatting.
apologise.
And lots of math.
Yes.
Well, he's been doing lots of math.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think we'll call that a day now. I'm assuming there'll be some episodes now in the old place, and we'll probably record some more in there for a little bit until this space is finished, because the setup was cable tie heavy,
Yes.
shall we say the least.
But we wanted to show you this space,
Yes.
figure out what it's going to be,
Yes.
and
And
yes.
now we all need to bugger off because we need to now clear the entire other side of the garage so that I can paint that wall and then work on the roof.
Whoop. Thank you.
So until next time, we've been nerding out, geeking out. Bye.